hoodie, my belt, this shit Balenciaga. I don't know no Kim K, but I wear Balenciaga. I don't wear too much chromas because Balenciaga. Whoa! I might miss my Gucci Balenciaga. Mix it up. They said Damien Hirst.
Bro, we finna watch this T Grizzly shit, bro. I've been seeing niggas talk about this T Grizzly shit, and they saying this nigga done apparently grabbed his auntie up, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, I just got told this shit by my cousins, but I look, you wanna watch it. I'm not gonna lie. That shit crazy though, cause I need to hear how this shit happened. They say T Grizz set his auntie up, but we don't know. That's what we finna get into. Damn, nigga, this shit been playing the whole time. I ain't even.
God, I've been on the phone all day investigating the death of T Grizzly's auntie, Jobina Brown. I've been diving deep into the conspiracy, trying to figure out what's true. What's true about this conspiracy? And the conspiracy that I'm referring to is the conspiracy that T Grizzly enlisted the help of Chicago dudes that he knew to murder his aunt Jobina Brown, who he impregnated to make that scandal go away and to retain.
So you mean to tell me this nigga hired some Chicago niggas to clap his auntie because he got his auntie pregnant? I ain't gonna lie, that nigga freaky as hell.
Back his masters from her. I've been trying to uncover what's true about this and what's not true about this. There's a lot of inconsistency in this story, but the one thing that's consistent, after speaking to a lot of people, receiving information from Jobina Brown's camp, from people within T Grizzly's camp, after having information from them transfer over to me, the one thing that is consistent, it's not looking good for T Grizzly. That's the only thing that's consistent so far.
Brown, the manager and aunt of T Grizzly, was shot and killed in Detroit on Tuesday night, August 20th. Comments about her death.
Now, you know what's crazy? I do remember when that shit happened, bruh. That shit was kind of crazy. That was like a couple years back or something, bro. That nigga auntie died or whatever. That shit was wild. I'm not gonna lie. The whole internet knew about that shit.
Began servicing Wednesday, August 21st on social media before her passing was confirmed by TMZ. According to law enforcement sources, a shooter opened fire on Grizzly's Cadillac Escalade while the vehicle was traveling around Detroit. The gunman allegedly approached on foot and shot Brown, who was sitting in the back seat in her left side. Grizzly was reportedly riding in the passenger seat and got out of the vehicle as the shooter approached. The driver said the attacker fired 3 or 4 shots and noted that Brown screamed before the gunfire.
Fuck, I just realized they said she had his masters. That's even crazier if she did have that nigga masters.
Began. Brown was rushed to a local hospital but died from her wounds. She was 41 years old. Police don't know if Grizzly was the intended target of the attack. He and the driver were unharmed.
From my perspective, this entire story begins when the first and only suspect who has been arrested so far was arrested 2 months after the incident. When Wu Thing, aka Wu 600 from Chicago.
Damn, that nigga looked like he got kicked and punched in the face. Fuck why his face look like that. I ain't even trying to be funny. That nigga do look like he just got his ass beat.
Was initially arrested for the murder of T Grizzly's auntie Jobina Brown. The streets of Detroit was talking almost immediately. People was calling this a backdoor from the very beginning.
Fuck.
Everybody on the mother east side know that, nigga. Them been facts. What you talking about?
Ain't this damn near telling another nigga that shit happened? That's fake telling. I'm not gonna lie. That nigga said 600 OTF Buka. That backdoor motherfucker. That backdoor motherfucker. Hell nah. Gave the nigga a whole gang name.
How the you don't know? What you mean? You know that everybody who killed everybody and popped everybody, but you don't know how 600 got down on auntie though. Bro, what you think? What kind of crime reporter is you? What you mean?
People initially thought when people in
nigga told a nigga what type of crime
backdoor,
reporter is you.
They were
That's
referring
crazy.
to OTF or 600 backdooring T Grizzly. Because at the time, T Grizzly was really close with OTF and 600 through Buka 600. So when a 600 member murdered his auntie, people thought, man, the OTF or 600 like backdoor T Grizzly? It wasn't until time went by and people began to put the pieces together. Like, hold on. OTF or 600 couldn't have backdoor T Grizzly because the killer of T Grizzly, Wu Thing, was arrested in 2019. In 2022 or 2023, T Grizzley did a joint album with Lil Durk. In 2024, T Grizzley made Buka 600 right hand mans with the killer Wu Thing his groomsmen for his wedding. So T Grizzley was becoming closer, like probably closer than ever, with the alleged parties that murdered his auntie. So it couldn't have been.
So this nigga T Grizzley made this nigga the best man at his wedding is crazy. After that's the nigga that clapped her. This nigga T Grizzley down there back door.
A back door? Because if it was a back door, if he felt like his life was in danger, because T Grizzley did multiple interviews saying that they were coming after him, that the shooters opened up the car door looking for him. So if the parties who murdered your auntie was actually looking for you, then you wouldn't be like friendlier with them. You wouldn't be closer with them. You wouldn't make Buka 600 your groomsman. You wouldn't, right, like do a song with Lil Durk or a joint album with Lil Durk. And the only Lil Durk ties here is Buka 600 is signed to OTF. But Lil Durk has nothing to do with this whatsoever.
That nigga had to clarify, this nigga Durk got that Rico. He ain't a part of this.
T Grizzley backdoor his auntie. Maybe T Grizzley set his auntie up to be killed. Now, I have the full indictment of Wu Thing, and the full indictment, I believe, tells a story that leans more towards somebody backdoored that auntie. I don't know if it's T Grizzley, but the indictment and the story told in the indictment lends me to believe that somebody backdoored that auntie. Let's get into the full indictment and what evidence they got on Wu Thing that led to his arrest. The police was able to trace the getaway vehicle, which was a blue Nissan with the license plates HRK 4937. They traveled to Michigan the day before, and then 2 hours after the homicide, they traveled to Chicago. The vehicle was a rental.
Damn, the vehicle got tracked from Michigan to Chicago, nigga. Damn.
Car. So when they didn't return the vehicle after the homicide, Hertz Rental reported the vehicle stolen. Even though the vehicle was reported stolen, even though the vehicle was involved in a homicide 2 months prior, Wu Thing was still driving around Chicago in that vehicle, knowing how hot it was. Well, he was parked in the alleyway one night, October 19th, 2019. He was parked in the alleyway. The police pulled up because they ran the tags and they seen the vehicle was reported stolen. They attempted to initiate a stop. He ran away. He was eventually caught. He was ultimately arrested and charged for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. But get this, and this is where you really start to look at these dudes like, yeah, y'all are just professional doofuses. So on top of being caught in a stolen vehicle that was used in a homicide 2 months prior, he was also caught with a firearm. And after ballistics was done on the firearm that he was arrested with, ballistics shows that not only was the vehicle connected to the homicide, not only was the vehicle identified as being a getaway vehicle of the homicide of Jovina Brown, but he was also found in possession of the firearm that was also used in the murder of Jovina.
Nigga, you got caught with the car and the gun, my nigga. How you get caught with the car and the gun? Ain't you supposed to get rid of that shit? This nigga tripping. This nigga geeking. He talking about some nigga. What? Hell nah. I need to get a bottle of water real quick. That nigga talk. How do you leave the gun? I mean, how do you keep the car and keep the gun? Ain't that rule number one, nigga? Ain't you supposed to toss that shit or something, nigga? What the fuck?
Brown. Ballistic shows that this was the firearm that killed Jovina Brown. This is where we introduce new information that I didn't include in my last video. And this is the part of the video where we start looking at T Grizzley a little crazy. We start looking at T Grizzley with a side eye here. You see, T Grizzley told the story of what happened the night of the murder. T Grizzley stated that he was with his auntie / manager, Jovina Brown. They made a last-minute stop at one of his other auntie's crib for him to check on some business. Jovina Brown decided to stay in the car and wait outside because she didn't like germs. He was only going to go inside and come back out right away. It was a last-minute pit stop, right? Let's hear T Grizzley tell the story, and we're about to find out why this new information that we received kind of blow up that version of the story. It kind of not only would I say debunks it, but kind of makes us start thinking that maybe T Grizzley is telling some fibs here.
So the night everything happened, man, can you kind of go over that night with us? I know y'all was at the studio. I seen you on your Instagram, on your Insta.
Yeah, so we was at the studio with Guapo and Jay Swan or whatever, and I'm going over my cousin's house, my older cousin. Mm-hmm. He was real close with my pops. It's like my pops' brother, mm-hmm. And I always try to, you know what I'm saying, show him some love because that's another wound we really ain't healed from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went over there, and I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she like, no, I don't want to go in. I'm begging her to come in the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain areas, you just can't, you got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't about where you at. I could go anywhere I want to.
Right.
But I got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm moving right, can't nothing happen to me. So I'm telling her to come in the house. She like, no. Because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses.
Okay.
And stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she just a clean, real clean person.
Okay.
It's like, no, I don't want to go in them people's house. I don't want to sit on their furniture and all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I'm knocking on the door. My people's taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They finally come to the door. As soon as I see her, as soon as I see my auntie, mm-hmm. She about to open the door. I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. You know what I'm saying?
Behind you.
Behind me, I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. So I get down because I'm thinking they about to come to the side and start, you know what I'm saying, shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time. Mm-hmm. My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street. When we ran out, my driver was gone with no cars out there. I'm like,
She was in the, so what was the vehicle? She was in the car? Like,
yeah, she was in the car. She was in the car.
Okay.
She was in the car on the street. So my cousin ran out with the gun or whatever, and we ran out in the front to see what's going on and to, if somebody up on us, we gonna get them off us. Basically what happened, they walked up to my door and opened my door. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas opened my door, mm-hmm. Trying to get at me. End up hitting her up.
Where'd they hit her on the body?
They hit her on her side and her arm.
Damn.
She didn't get hit her face and just all on her side. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
How many
on
times?
The side where her heart at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the side where her heart at too. So that's.
T Grizzley said the killers were looking for him because he exited out of the vehicle from a specific side.
Fuck. So he walked up to the door, and as soon as he walked up to the door, they thought that nigga was already in the car, and they tried to grab him and grabbed her. Allegedly, all this shit's alleged.
Side of the car. When he exited out of the vehicle, he went to the side porch to get let in. The killers couldn't see he was at the side porch, but they knew what side of the vehicle he was in. So when the killers seen the vehicle was parked, they went to the vehicle and opened up the side of the vehicle that T Grizzley was sitting in before he exited out. They opened it up and began to shoot at the auntie because they thought the auntie was him, because they thought he was sitting there. Again, if the killers couldn't see T Grizzley because he was at the side porch, that would mean they didn't see T Grizzley get out the vehicle because they would have just followed him. Then that would mean the only reason why they would know that T Grizzley was sitting on that specific side was because they seen T Grizzley get in the vehicle on that particular side and they followed him to the location. Here's why that don't make sense, and here's why the facts of the case actually debunks everything T Grizzley just said and sort of opens this case up where anybody can be a suspect, and dare I say T Grizzley could be a suspect. Wu Thing kept his phone on the entire time he committed this homicide. I don't know what I would expect from someone who was still in possession of the getaway vehicle and the murder weapon, but he kept his phone on the entire time, and they were able to trace him coming into Michigan and leaving Michigan after the homicide. But they were also able to pin him at the crime scene. And this is why T Grizzly's story don't make sense at all. The cell phone towers pinged Wu Thing's cell phone at the murder scene for more than an hour and 56 minutes. So it started pinging around 7 p.m. and continued pinging until 8:56 p.m., which is minutes before the shooting occurred. That means that Wu Thing was at the murder scene for an hour and 56 minutes. He was at the murder scene for an hour and 50 minutes before T Grizzley and them got there. So he was hiding out. He was waiting. He was expecting them to come to that location. How
Damn, so your phone got pinged from you going from Michigan to Chicago. Even got you pinged for being there for an extra hour and 30 minutes, my nigga. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The way this shit sounding, it allegedly sound like a back door, but I ain't trying to say all that. That ain't my business to say.
Did the shooter know that T Grizzly and his aunt was gonna be at the location if the location was an impromptu stop? If the location was hey yo, let's stop right here real quick. How did they know to wait out at that address for an hour and 56 minutes waiting for them to show up? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And also, if they was at the location for an hour and 56 minutes, then they seen T Grizzly get out the vehicle, which will make sense. They didn't see him get.
I ain't think about it like that. Yeah, that nigga got a point. If the nigga was sitting there for a good hour and 30, he for sure seen T Grizzly hop out and walk to that front door. And then they could have ran up on that nigga auntie. Yeah, this might be backdoor situation. Hell nah.
In the vehicle because they wasn't at the location when he got in the vehicle. But they seen him get out the vehicle. They seen him walk to the side porch, which is why they came over, opened up that car vehicle knowing he wasn't going to be there, and began shooting. This is just my theory, people. And began shooting. This is the only story that makes sense, people. The only story. I'm not saying T Grizzly is responsible for backdooring his auntie. I don't know. I'm saying T Grizzly's story got to start adding up, people. It got to start adding up. How did the killer know to wait out at that location for an hour and 56 minutes if the location was an impromptu stop? The killers was at the location. You got out. They could have easily haunted you down, went and got you from.
You got a point. All they had to do was run up to the front door and get your ass. You said it took a minute for your cousins came out too. All this shit is kind of he say, she say, but I ain't gonna say that, nigga. You feel me? Shit.
From the side porch, they watched you exit out the vehicle. They was at the location, and they let you go away, and they came and killed your auntie. What beef would they have with your auntie? It doesn't make sense, people, at all. T Grizzly offered up a response, and this is his response to everything you just heard, okay?
I just think the niggas about to go around trying to clear no shit up because it is what it is. As far as like, you know, I ain't about to be certain shit you can't entertain, bro. Especially when it's absolutely nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But you do got a lot of motherfuckers that go to the internet and think that everything they see on that bitch is facts. It's not a place for facts. You can see some shit dead in your base chat that's not true. So you think he can't be fooled by the fucking internet, bro? Bullshit.
So what will the motive be for T Grizzly to do this to his auntie, to backdoor his auntie / manager? And they're not
Now that
blood
nigga
auntie.
do keep trying to back it up
Now,
and back it up though. I ain't gonna lie, but shit, this is alleged. See, even this to say that shit even on the title, allegedly.
To someone who was literally at the funeral of Jobina Brown. They were at the funeral, bruh. Yo, I was told even at the funeral, people were suspecting T Grizzly because he did like interviews where like people close to the situation were kind of concerned about the stories kind of not really matching up in certain, in some interviews. I think in one interview, like T Grizzly said, yo, it was like a drive-by. They came and shot it up. Then the next interview, they said, they came and opened up the door to look for him and then shot the auntie. So again, those are not really a big deal, but it don't really line up perfectly. I was told from someone particular that even when Jobina Brown and this person would be talking or getting close, T Grizzly would get jealous. That at times, like T Grizzly would kind of get jealous. And Jobina Brown would tell this person, yo, T Grizzly, keep asking me about you, keep asking me why we're talking, blah, blah, blah. And Jobina Brown will confide in this person that she actually had an intimate relationship with T Grizzly. But the thing with this is, Jobina Brown is T Grizzly's uncle's wife who's in prison, I think.
Damn.
Again, don't
So
quote
he
me on this,
back
but
doing
I think the
Unky in
uncle
prison?
is in prison. I think Jobina Brown is the uncle's wife. She's not blood related, but she's related through marriage, I believe. So smashing the uncle's wife, allegedly got
That
her
nigga T
pregnant.
Grizzly smashing Unky wife.
According to courtroom reporters, that that was allegedly brought up the first day of trial.
Got her pregnant?
That Jobina Brown could be pregnant for T Grizzly's baby. So that's a motive. The uncle is in prison. You got her pregnant. She not trying to abort it. Man, that could be one thing. Jobina Brown invested in T Grizzly really early on when nobody else would. Right? It is reported that she apparently owns a portion of T Grizzly's masters. He wanted it back. He signed a deal with her like fresh out of prison as like a management deal.
Damn.
He wanted it back. She wouldn't give it up. That could be motivation. I don't know. And I'm not saying
Shit,
T
she
Grizzly
died
is
with the
involved. What I'm
Masters
telling
and there
you
was no
is
baby to grab.
the fact.
I mean, shit, she died with the Masters and there's no baby to, you feel me? Pass the Masters down on too, so I guess it would have to come back to him. I think.
Of this case doesn't really align with T Grizzly's story 100% or perfectly. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, okay? We're going to continue looking into this, man. Trial is on Monday. We're going to be watching that trial, best believe. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, to find out why Whack 100 just sent no jumper.
Are we not talking about Whack? Nah, that's low-key kind of crazy though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it all kind of makes sense and it sound like it's adding up and shit, but I can't really speak on that shit because nigga, it's alleged, nigga. Allegedly that nigga did that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. Glass is dirty as shit. But yeah, that's all alleged, nigga. I don't know if he really did that shit or if he didn't do that shit. But the way that shit sounded do sound like a backdoor ass story. Backdoor ass story. That do sound like a backdoor ass story though. I ain't gonna lie. And if he did do that, I ain't gonna lie. If T Grizzly did do that shit, that nigga slimy as hell. This nigga's a snake individual. Backdoor as hell. That nigga's Kevo Grizzly. Dead ass. That shit is crazy though.